Hi everyone, I am making this video today because I have some really unfortunate news for you. This might come as a surprise to you or not, but we live in a sexist society. If you're one of those people who doesn't think or doesn't see the sexism in the society we live in, then this series is the series for you and I encourage you to keep watching. So here we go. Okay, so first things first, I've got some definitions for you all to clear things up, and they come from this lovely book here, Transofrmations by Mary Crawford. Sexism is prejudice based on gender or sex, and there's two main forms of this, and that's hostile sexism and benevolent sexism. Hostile sexism involves the belief that women are inferior and they're a threat to men's dominant place in society. Anyways, benevolent sexism can be seen as the nice version because this involves the belief that women should be put on this pedestal to be cherished, loved, and adored for their feminine characteristics and their caring quality. If you want to call it, it's still sexism and it still involves bringing men up and lowering women down based on the fact that they are women. History tells us and gives us evidence that we've been living in a patriarchal society since the beginning of time. So women have always been seen in a submissive light, meant to serve her man and be seen but not heard. However, nowadays, you see women everywhere in TV shows, movies, magazines, advertisements, and much more. But if you take a second to think about the women seen in these various forms of mediums, they all have one thing in common. These women look sexy, right? Because that's the problem. Women's bodies have almost always been the subject of sexualization in the media for as long as anybody can remember now. For those who don't know, sexualization is the act of making someone or something sexual in character or quality. So even though women in their bodies aren't inherently sexual in any way, shape, or form, society continues to portray women in their bodies in a sexualized manner, which leads to sexual objectification. What is sexual objectification, you may be asking? Easy answer. Sexual objectification happens when women's bodies are sexualized in the media so often that women are often reduced to just their bodies or even parts of that body. Don't know what I mean by being reduced to just their bodies or parts of them? Allow me to show you.
No, the women pictured in these ads are not for sale. However, their bodies are positioned in a sexualized manner solely for the purpose of selling or advertising the product that is pictured. But wait, it gets worse. These women's body parts are turned into the products themselves in order to sell them, and these women have become the product entirely, and their sexualized body positions are meant to make the product more enticing to males specifically.
What's the problem? It's just a marketing tactic meant to sell more products, right? Wrong. By using women and their bodies as sexual objects, they become just that, sexual objects, not women. People, for that matter. As long as society continues to exploit women's bodies and use them for whatever their sexist hearts desire, women will continue to be seen as objects, not humans, and therefore of lesser value than men. Until this sexist view of women and their bodies comes to an end, women will always be seen as submissive to their dominant male counterparts. Still not convinced about how all of this plays into our lovely sexist society? Keep an eye out for the next part in this mini-series and keep talking about sexism in our society.